Good afternoon. Good afternoon, dear participant. Thank you for joining us in this West Africa TESOL second virtual annual convention. Today I'm going to present with my brother, Mr. Aliou, and the topic of our presentation is teaching vocabulary with Facebook, a topic which we consider as of paramount importance if we know that now we are talking everywhere about flipping our classes, digital literacy, and online learning. So, before we start anything, just give you or share with you some reminders about the way we use Zoom. So, first, we want you just to mute yourself to avoid background noise and to listen to each other and to be supportive to each other. Now, if you want to take the floor, you can use the chat box or raise your hand, and after you can unmute yourself, say your word, and mute yourself again for a good session. So let's go. Here is the outline of our presentation. First of all, we are going to share with you the way we understand Facebook, meaning what is Facebook, and why Facebook, meaning why did we decide to deal with Facebook in the acquisition of vocabulary with our students. Third, we will use Facebook in the Senegalese. We will show some challenges and some opportunities in using Facebook in the Senegalese context. Four, we will share with you practical tips in using Facebook to teach vocabulary. And after finally, we will share with you also some tips or some principle in teaching online through Facebook in general. So, picture description. I want someone to take the floor or to just use the chat box and tell me what he knows or she knows about Facebook. What is Facebook? Yes, a social network. Yes, great. Yes, someone else? Wonderful, guys. Thank you. Okay, so as you can see, Facebook is a social media. We use it to interact with people, to do whatever we want with Facebook. You can lose a friend and you can find your friend in Facebook. You can send a message, get pen pal, getting a friend through Facebook. Even people are getting married through Facebook. So we can use Facebook in the educational as an educational resource with colleagues, with learners. You see, just an example. We have an association here in Senegal, an English Teacher Association, our national English teacher, ATES, and we have a very famous Facebook page where we share all our resources. So if you want to get some information about ATES or just some teaching tips, you can go to the Facebook and you can find what you want there. And we have many other Facebook pages where people can learn, where people can study. You can do the same. You can even use it to teach. What we wanted to do today is one of these activities. So undoubtedly, Facebook is a great tool when it comes to teaching vocabulary to students. Now, why have we decided to focus on this very social network? Why not WhatsApp? Why not Twitter? Why not any other social networks? Why have we decided to focus on Facebook? We could say that Facebook is used by everyone. Everywhere in the world, people are using Facebook. We're using Facebook to interact, as I said it a while ago. Teachers use Facebook, students use Facebook, even those who are not at school, they use Facebook. So it is an easygoing tool where people can find the necessary tools, the necessary materials they need in order to study or to learn. But using Facebook also goes with challenges. And if we talk about challenges, it refers to what problem people who are using Facebook can meet or can encounter in their practice or in their use. And to highlight these challenges, we have decided some questions. Very surprised by the answers the student provided. But to deal with this part, I am going to give the floor to my co-presenter, Mr. Aliou, who will talk about the second part of the presentation. Mr. Diatta, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. As you say here, you talk about the challenge using Facebook for students to learn vocabulary. Here I say we have many challenges. Okay, what the student here face, we have sometimes they have the lack of connection, lack of smartphones, and some time ago we have in our school the authorities they forbid the use of smartphone in this classroom. And here we have the questionnaire we are putting to the student. When you see this table we have 4 questions here regarding the use of Facebook. The first question is, we have a classroom of 78 students. The first question was, have you ever heard of Facebook? Here we can see here 100% of students say yes. Yes, they have heard about Facebook. The other question is, do you know Facebook? Yeah, here again, 1%. I say 100% of students they say yes, they know Facebook. And the third question is, do you send or receive message on Facebook? They say here we have 90% students say yes, they receive or send message from or through Facebook. And the last question was, do you use Facebook in your classroom? They say no. I say here, it's normal, as I told, okay, because here, the school authorities, they forbid use of Facebook. And you have, again, you have to comment here, the student answers here. Among all these questions, the learner give a positive answers, except for the one regarding the use of Facebook in the classroom. It's normal here in Senegal. Smartphones are forbidden in classroom. That's why here the students they face these challenges in the school. And this shows that using Facebook at school or in the classroom is forbidden. The challenge in using Facebook in the Senegal context. Here we have many challenges. We have the lack of connection, data or smartphone in rural area. Yes, normal. Many students who live in the remote area or real areas, they have many problems to have smartphone, to have connection, and also to have someone who can help them or who can buy them smartphone is the first challenge we face here in Senegal. And the other challenge is the learner ignores the educational resources that Facebook offers. Using Facebook, you have many opportunities. You can learn from Facebook. You can know many news or know many vocabulary news or vocabulary items on Facebook. And I say it's a pity for the student here. They ignore this importance of Facebook. They still use it on listening music or other things like watching movies or watching some things which are not important for them. Uh-huh. And we have again, go miss the slide, please. We have the opportunity here of using Facebook. Facebook provides learners the opportunity to engage in interaction. Yeah, Facebook here helps them to chat with their peers, classmates, with their friends or relatives. And also Facebook is can be used as a language learning tool which can further learning, the learner's autonomy. When they use Facebook, they can find or gain many things, okay, about their learning, like what I told, vocabulary items, now new vocabulary words. And Facebook also can give them the opportunity to acquire reading and writing skills. and enrich their vocabularies. That's it. And also, Facebook can also help students to learn and be prepared on how to make research for their future training or studies. It, here, Facebook can help them, okay, to improve their teaching or their learning for the future. And let's go ahead, please. Yes, we have here, we're talking about the exemplation. Here we have a classroom of 78 students. The age we have from 48 to 16 age. Our objective is to the student learn new vocabulary item related to traveling, and a link is sent to me. Here we will talk about the traveling. And we have, as a teacher, we have first to send the link about traveling to the student. And then we have to guide them with our test. Next slide, please. Yeah, here has a task. We have sent the student. First, as a teacher, I tell the student, watch the images and answer the question. It should be individual. What can you see in the picture? What is your picture dealing with? Have you ever traveled? If yes, what kind of means of transportation have you taken? The presenter or producer, yes, he has a picture. And before asking the question, the students, they say, okay, here, I say, Ali, what do you see in this picture? Ali see here, I see an Eiffel Tower. And Musa say, yes, I see glasses. Salih say, yes, I see here the passport. Yes, passport here. And Musa, have you ever traveled? Musa say, yes. Where? Musa tell me, yes, I was in Touba for here, religious meeting. We call it here in Senegal, Ngom or Magal. And if yes, what kind of means of transport do you have? Do you take? Musa told me, yeah, he take a bus. He take a bus. And Aliou, what do you take? Ali said, yeah, he take a boat because Ali live here in Senegal in the south. He take a boat. And now I let the student to do their projecting or their presentation. And they have to write a short paragraph about activities and to tell me about what they like on traveling and what do they like on traveling. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Now we have homework. As a homework now, is first the learners have to learn to record their role play. Now, role play, as role play example, I have taken role play about how a comics actor we call Khoudia here in Senegal. And I have taken this man to give as an example of role play. Yeah, the students, they say, one student came with a carrying bag, okay, and he told me about what is Khoudia do and what is funny with Khoudia do. Okay, sometimes he put, I think, a big carrying bag and also. And now I told you now to share it with the teacher. And what do you do after? And now let's go now to the tips or strategies of teaching on Facebook. Next slide, please. We have here here are the strategy we have. I talk about, we have intentional learning and incidental learning. Now, as you see here, we have intentional learning. When you have it means the use. It is here, the vocabulary is means to solve some strategies, okay, to follow so as to grasp a new vocabulary item or to make the student or to make them aware of the contextual use of each vocabulary item. And here, and you see here, we have the student have to understand the vocabularies. They have also to learn how to use them and also to master the spelling of the words and also to pronounce them correctly, like correction of the grammar and inappropriate words. Now, when we talk about the intentional learning, talking about intentional learning, next slide, please. When you talk about intentional learning, it means the vocabulary is not enough for learner in the classroom. Yeah, that's quite. In our classroom, the vocabulary is not enough. That's why we have to choose Facebook. Now, when you choose we have here, it means The use of Facebook is not enough for the student, and it's meant to here the student have to discuss, to doing and sharing their homework, to listening and to share, to listen and share their friends, and you have also to read their friends' paragraph, and also to give comments on one another role play. Here it's how we call here the incidental learning. Next slide, please. Now we have the references here, and I give the floor to my sister Khoudia to wrap up. And thank you. Thank you for joining us. Sister Khoudia, you have the floor.
Thank you, Brother Ali. Thank you so much for this clear explanation about incidental learning and intentional learning, which are two principles one must consider when dealing with teaching through Facebook. We have two ways of doing it. Either you adopt the incidental learning strategy or the intentional learning strategy. And before dealing with an activity through Facebook, we have to make our choice between the two strategies. Which one do you want to deal with? And after now, we will handle our activity regarding the one we want to deal. We have chosen. Second, maybe just to say that when we deal with dramatization or role playing, it is online, not face to face. We ask our student, we give them a link which is dealing with an image. They go in Facebook, they open the link and I see the image. And now the link goes with some instruction, some questions. Now while looking out, describing the image, they answer the questions like, have you traveled? Where have you gone? What are the activities, things that you don't want to do during vacation and so on and so forth. And now after, they produce other words using their own words, making their own research in order to get as many words as necessary relating to traveling. And after now, they will dramatize an online, a short video to dramatize it, dealing with traveling. Example, they can dramatize a phone call to book a room in a hotel. They can also dramatize a waiter who is who is giving food, just like the one who is in travel and who is in a restaurant, and so on and so forth. And now they share the link of the video with their teacher, and the teacher will go to Facebook, and at the same time, he will open the link and see the video of his student. This is what we mean by dramatizing and role playing, but not in face to face. Thank you so much. Thank you for your attention.